The moving truck hadn't even disappeared around the corner of our new street in Maplewood, Virginia, when she stormed onto our porch, clipboard in hand, radiating the kind of authority that screams trouble. I'm Ethan Caldwell, and my wife, Sarah, and I had just bought what we thought was our forever homey, a quiet, tree-lined sanctuary for our 6-year-old son, Noah, and my grandfather, Colonel Benjamin Ben Ramsey, a retired Army officer with 35 years of service. At 78, Grandpa Ben still moved like he was leading troops, his sharp green eyes scanning every detail of our new property with tactical precision. "Good layout," he'd said, half joking, as we hauled boxes inside. "Clear sight lines, defensible exits." I chuckled then, clueless that his words would soon feel like a battle plan. Her name was Claudia Hensley, the neighborhood's self-appointed enforcer, dressed in a crisp blazer that looked more suited to a courtroom than a suburban porch. Her smile was as fake as a campaign promise, and her voice dripped with condescension. "Welcome to Maplewood," she said, thrusting a stack of papers at me. "I'm here to ensure you comply with our community standards." The documents screamed official, stamped with legal jargon about Section 2.7 compliance and immediate yard verification. As an architect, I'm trained to spot inconsistencies, and something about her paperwork felt wrong. "Thanks, but I reviewed the HOA rules when we closed," I said, keeping my tone civil. "Our deed doesn't require membership." Claudia's smile twitched, like a glitch in a program. "Oh, you must be misinformed," she replied, her voice sharpening. "Our original covenants override individual deeds. It's all perfectly legal." Grandpa Ben paused mid-box, his gaze locking onto Claudia like a sniper zeroing in. Decades of command had honed his ability to read people, and I could tell he was dissecting her every word. Claudia, meanwhile, studied him with equal intensity, her eyes narrowing as they flicked to our mailbox, where Ramsey was stenciled in bold letters. "Ramsey," she muttered, so softly I barely caught it. "Why does that name ring a bell?" Before I could process her reaction, the situation spiraled. When I refused to sign her papers without a lawyer's review, Claudia's mask slipped. Neighbors materialized like they'd been summoned. Mrs. Larson from next door, yelling about our truck blocking her driveway. Mr. Patel across the street, accusing me of hostile behavior. It was a coordinated ambush, and Claudia stood back, smirking, as she dialed 911. "We have a non-compliant resident causing a disturbance," she announced, her voice theatrical enough for an Oscar. Officer Daniels arrived, looking like he'd rather be fishing. After taking statements and finding no real violations, he left, but Claudia's parting shot was chilling. "You'll learn to respect our rules, Mr. Caldwell, one way or another." As she stormed off, a crumpled violation notice fell from her stacked $4.25 for community safety infractions, riddled with typos and a fake notary seal. Grandpa Ben picked it up, his eyes narrowing. "Amateur work," he said, pulling a magnifying glass from his toolkit. "This isn't just a power trip. It's organized fraud." The next morning, Claudia escalated her war. Noah was outside, drawing chalk dinosaurs on the sidewalk, when I heard her heels clicking like a metronome. Through the kitchen window, I saw her approach with a stocky man named Victor Klein, sporting a badge that screamed, "Fake official." "Sweetie," Claudia cooed to Noah, her voice sickly sweet. "Children can't play on sidewalks without adult supervision. It's the rules." Noah's face crumpled. "But Daddy said it's okay," he mumbled. Claudia's smile tightened. "Your daddy doesn't know the rules yet, but we'll teach him." Victor started snapping photos, measuring the sidewalk like it was a crime scene, while Claudia handed Noah a child safety citation with a $300 fine and a veiled threat. "We'd hate for child services to get involved, wouldn't we?" Noah ran inside, tears streaming, clutching his chalk. "Grandpa, they said they'll take me away." Grandpa Ben scooped him up, his voice steady but lethal. "Nobody's taking you anywhere, kiddo. They're just lost in their own lives." But his eyes were already in what he called combat mode, scanning the scene outside like he was back in a war zone. That night, we turned our dining room into a command center. Grandpa spread out a map of Maplewood, marking Claudia's house and properties sold at suspiciously low prices. He uncovered that the Maplewood HOA had dissolved in 2018 for embezzlement, meaning Claudia's authority was as real as a monopoly deed. Victor we learned, was a disgraced ex-notary, banned for forging documents. Detective Sarah Monroe, who'd responded to Claudia's 12th complaint call that year, confirmed our suspicions. She's driven 3 families out in 2 years with these tactics. We've flagged her, but proving fraud is tricky without hard evidence. Claudia's campaign grew darker. She targeted Noah, knowing he was our weak point, and the psychological toll was immediate. He stopped playing outside, peeking through windows before stepping onto the porch. His drawings, once full of dinosaurs and rainbows, now showed faceless men snatching kids from their parents. Sarah broke down one night, her voice shaking. "Ethan, Noah's terrified. Maybe we should just sign her damn papers and end this." I was tempted, but Grandpa's voice cut through. "This isn't about compliance. It's about control. She's targeting us for a reason." That reason became clear when I found a 20-year-old news clipping online. Claudia, then Claudia Novak, stood beside a soldier at a military ceremony, smiling proudly. The caption read, "Claudia Novak, wife of Staff Sergeant Michael Hensley, honored for bravery under Colonel Benjamin Ramsey." Grandpa was in the background, pinning a medal on Michael. When I showed him the photo, his face aged a decade. "Michael Hensley," he whispered, "one of my finest. Saved a village from a suicide bomber, died in an ambush a month later." Claudia blamed me, claimed I sent him on a suicide mission for glory. She filed complaints, all dismissed, but she never let it go. Claudia's vendetta had festered for 2 decades, and our arrival Ramsey name on the mailbox had lit the fuse. She upped her game, posting a doctored video online claiming Grandpa was a dangerous veteran harassing neighbors. Fake accounts, likely victors, flooded comment sections. He yelled at kids, "Protect our community." The backlash was brutal. Neighbors shunned us. Parents banned their kids from playing with Noah. But Grandpa stayed calm, methodical. "She's overplayed her hand," he said, digging through old military files. He found a letter from Michael, written weeks before his death. "If I don't make it, investigate Claudia. She's planning to profit off my death. Safety Deposit Box 392, Virginia Trust Bank." Of everything's there. The box held a bombshell, bank records, forged insurance claims, and photos of Claudia meeting shady figures, all documented by Michael's private investigator. He'd suspected her of fraud before deploying, even catching her siphoning his combat pay. Grandpa, haunted by guilt, had kept the box sealed, honoring Michael's request to protect his family. But targeting Noah changed everything. "Some lines you don't cross," Grandpa said, his voice steel. We coordinated with Detective Monroe, whose FBI contacts linked Michael's evidence to Claudia's current schemes. Sterling Estates, her shell company, had bought 7 homes at cut-rate prices after harassing families out, netting $380,000 in 3 years. Her operation was sophisticated: encrypted phones, fake documents, even payoffs to a local councilman, Gregory Vance, whose emergency HOA ordinance suspiciously aligned with Claudia's demands. Bank records showed $60,000 funneled to Vance's campaign. The final showdown came at a city council meeting in April 2023. Grandpa, in full dress uniform, carried Michael's folded flag and bronze star. The room packed with 150 residents, and news cameras fell silent as he took the podium. "I speak for Staff Sergeant Michael Hensley, who gave his life for others," he began, breaking the seal on Michael's letter. As he read Michael's accusations: insurance fraud, identity theft, forged signatures. Claudia's composure shattered. "Lies," she screamed, but the evidence was undeniable. Bank statements, photos, recordings from 2003, all matching her current crimes. Detective Monroe presented FBI findings: $92,000 in fraudulent VA benefits, plus a 20-year pattern of targeting military families. The room erupted. Veterans stood, saluting Michael's sacrifice. Victims shared their stories, exposing Claudia's playbook. Vance, sweating, withdrew his ordinance, but bank records tied him to her crimes. Claudia's final gambit: media blitz claiming Grandpa forged Michael's letter collapsed when the Pentagon confirmed the letter's authenticity. Federal agents arrested her for fraud and conspiracy, seizing her properties. Victor got 2 years for forgery. Vance faced campaign finance charges. Healing took time. Noah's counseling helped him reclaim his childhood, though he's more cautious now. Sarah and I rebuilt our lives, with me elected to city council to protect military families. The Michael Hensley Fund now supports veterans facing similar harassment. At a Memorial Day ceremony in 2024, Grandpa saluted Michael's grave. Mission complete, soldier. You're still saving lives. Our community, once fractured, became a model for fighting HOA corruption, with Luna leading kids' safety programs. So what's your take? Should families fight back against bullies like Claudia, even if it risks everything? Have you faced a neighbor who weaponized community rules? Could you forgive someone who targeted your kids for revenge? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if justice felt sweet, and subscribe for more stories of ordinary people winning extraordinary battles.